Hi, I'm Shabana, and I'm a member of BAPSA. And uh, being a part of BAPSA has given me a lot of space and scope to, experience the Dalit movement from inside and contribute to it in a very in a constructive manner. So, what I experienced as a woman in the campus and within the organization is that. Firstly, generally in every structure of the society, there is a kind of gender disparity which is very obvious and which every woman has to face. So if I say that something like that doesn't happen in BAPSA or in JNU, it will be wrong. So being a very progressive environment, even here, women, the equality that we suppose and that we imagine here to be is not as we imagine. But the thing is that in comparison to my previous educational institutes and campuses, the space that JNU gives to its women is very good. And personally, I feel that the various barriers that women in general face outside is not there. So we are in a very secure environment of the campus where we feel safe. But then there are a lot of issues which are there even within the campus and within the organization, like the less number of women in the organization, or the less number of Dalit and Muslim women and women from other marginalized communities, Dalit, or say women from disabled communities. The less number of women which are visible in the public sphere is very obvious, and which raises a question about how equal the campus environment. And the about issues, I comparatively feel that I come from a family where I have not faced as many issues as a lot of other women coming from Muslim families feel. Like coming out to study itself for higher education is a big deal, and a lot of women have to compromise within their families, and they have to literally bargain to come out and study. Those kind of issues are there. And uh, the uh, the trade-offs that we women have to do in a everyday manner is again one thing, like uh, the fact that we are not used to being a part of the public, like the fact that we are not used to shouting. I personally, we have even giving slogans is a very big deal for me. So every small thing which, like many people can do easily, for a woman often it becomes a struggle to overcome, just to go out and speak to people, yeah, speak in a public platform, which we have never done before. So all these things are small challenges which being a part of an organization, an active political group, has helped me overcome and has given me a space to explore and overcome. uh,
So there is this organization called ISA, SFI, and BASO, and also DSU, and apparently, at least they claim some of the organizations claim that they address the Muslim question, and I don't want to name their organizations, but they do talk about like Afzal Gurus and the execution of him and the way Muslims are treated, like that. They do articulate seriously. But what is their how do you see these two organizations, and why BAPSA, if you don't mind?
One thing is that how do I say it? Like uh, the Muslim question is, so it's a little it's a very what do you say, a sensitive topic and a very complicated topic. So many people have this view that BAPSA, in fact in the presidential debate, some people said that BAPSA doesn't have Muslim people in it, and then some people blame that we don't raise the Muslim question as much. But the thing is that uh, the when we talk about a unity of the oppressed, where we expect all the marginalized communities, where we want all the marginalized communities to come together, we hope that and we aim that the questions of Muslims, say, should come from the Muslim people themselves. So even if and it should come out as an issue of the marginalized. Like it should not, BAPSA comes across as an organization that speaks for only Dalits, which is not the case. And there are different voices and different identities within the group, and everyone should speak for themselves. And as far as other organizations raising the questions of Muslims, I feel that the difference between BAPSA and other organizations is that uh, there has been a lot of instances where they raise questions of the marginalized communities on behalf of them, which is the problem, and which I feel BAPSA doesn't do. Yeah.
If that is the case, then SIO, no, this is, I'm just engaging with your discussion. So SIO is there. So why not SIO? Because BAPSA also largely about talking about Ambedkarite movement. But yes, Ambedkarite movement also have a space for this other marginalized is ideology. But however, SIO is there, and who speaks?
For their,
So why not SIO?
like for personally,
Yeah,
you're
because when
asking
you
why
say
I'm-
no, because you were saying that other organizations try to represent others.
No, in
So-
that case, matlab, SIO and there are organizations like SIO and YFDA which are like Muslim groups and
Yeah.
which speak for their own selves, and matlab, I really appreciate the like the work that they are doing. But like talking about left organizations and organizations like BAPSA, I was talking about the difference between that. And I think SIO and YFDA both have been, like especially YFDA, they have done a lot of work raising the questions of the marginalized, matlab the Muslims, and even within the Muslims, the marginalized Muslims. So in that ways, they have done a good work. It will be wrong to say that nothing like that happens in the campus. So there are organizations.
I was generally trying to engage with this because somewhere I feel that this campus is Islamophobist, the large students organizations. So what would be your comment on that? Do you think?
Matlab, that is true, and that is, I think, it's in a very, matlab, not very, but kind of subtle way where matlab, they will organize talks and they will organize programs on the safer issues, but then they'll leave out any commenting on critical issues like Kashmir or say this Islamophobia that you're talking about. That will not be addressed, but then they'll talk about, there'll be programs on generic issues of related to Muslims, but then they'll not talk about Muslim women, suppose. But basically, I'm trying to say is that the way the Muslim question is approached, I feel that it's kind of thoda sa superficial because of I'm not talking about all the organizations, but generally, especially these left organizations, when they try to address the questions of the marginalized, I feel there is a lack of coming up of voices from the within, and the organizations which speak for themselves, such as SIO, I feel, and YFDS, I feel that there's this thing of Islamophobia, which we might say that they feel that you are doing a lot of identity politics. Let's say this Najib issue, when it happened, when the Muslim students are speaking for Najib because he is a fellow Muslim student, people will come up with comments like you are taking up identity issue, you are doing identity politics. But then treating the Najib issue without keeping his Muslim identity in question again is very problematic. But then I somehow don't feel comfortable with the way issues related to the Muslims are being mentioned. Just in Najib issue, it's a very convenient kind of politics where you say that Najib was a Muslim, but then you don't see the issue in a manner, in a very holistic manner. I don't know if I'm able to
So
explain.
this Najib issue,
Huh.
I suppose that this OAC, when he was rallying, people avoided him, something like that.
I did not follow that.
Oh, okay. So this Najib's issue, overall, when they're having a public meeting, and they never called any Muslims, right?
That's what matlab, these are instances where like you cannot say that they did not raise the issue because they are doing programs. There was a huge program where like 20 people from all the political parties came and spoke, but then you can find these subtle ways in which you will find how they deal with the issue. So there'll probably be one Muslim speaker as a token, but then there will be mostly other theorists matlab, talking about the issue. But then जैसे when the Najib issue was happening, there could have been a lot of students activists who were actively involved in the issue, they were not called or they were not approached as much. So these are ways in which the issues of the Muslims have been marginalized and they are, they get sidelined.
So how does this, because in many hostels, especially women's hostel, which we hear, that it becomes quite difficult for the marginalized women to face the day-to-day affair in these hostels. Because males hostel, they do assert their identity. So I'm just wondering, as a Muslim woman, how do you face in the circle? How do people see you?
I feel that a distinction becomes very naturally, it happens very naturally. So somehow, just I as a Muslim person don't very obviously look like a Muslim person because I don't have a hijab, or for whatever reasons many people have told me. So the way people look at me, and for matter of the way people look at a woman who has covered her head or is wearing a hijab will be very different. And obviously it's not said, but then I have observed the way, I have a lot of Muslim friends who have their own groups and circles, even in my floor. The way people interact with each other, there are very subtle things, but then these very naturally and very unsaid, in a very unsaid manner, these divisions happen. And about the assertion of spaces, I think generally in boys hostel, men have a way of asserting and taking their spaces, which girls hostels don't have as much. But then I also have friends, Muslim women, who are very assertive about their practice and their beliefs. So they somehow manage to, I think, जैसे I don't know, because I have been for 1 year in JNU, so I don't know a lot of things in the campus ऐसे, but generally say having iftar and having getting this Roza ka Ramzan ka breakfast was also a big concern in one of our hostels in Shipra hostel. And I was not there in that hostel, but then people were talking about how I don't think that will be a problem in any of the boys hostel. So these are small things which are where we see, ek to you are a Muslim person, so that itself creates a lot of questions and among other people. And then when you have to demand for space for say doing namaz, or for say having Ramzan ka
this if a Muslim men and women go with the markers around this campus, markers of clothing and that, so what would this institute, can they walk freely, or it would be acceptable, or it would be...
I won't say it will not, like there are students who actually do that, but then I think the way people will look at it and do look at it, I think it changes. The fact that people have told me that I don't look like a Muslim itself says that there is something which says look like a Muslim, and it has happened within the campus as well. So it's not something that happens outside and within the campus become very progressive and very active. So I think that does create a difference. And but then especially in campuses like JNU, there are a lot of students who are practicing Muslim and who will probably have an attire, and but then and they have their own struggles, I'm sure, but then they claim for a space within the campus, and which is a good thing, like which should happen.
So if I just retell what you said, can I say that even people asking you that you don't look like a Muslim itself is an Islamophobist argument?
That's what actually, to tell you the truth, since childhood I have been like in India, being Sanskritized is a very, very normal thing. So I grew up in an environment where everyone around me was Hindu. So I was very Sanskritized, and then I would get comments like appreciation for, you don't need non-veg, very good being a Muslim, you don't look like a Muslim, being a Muslim, you don't like non-veg as much. So those things have happened, and over the time, I have also changed a lot over the time. So now I realize that the comments like you don't look like a Muslim, and there are a lot of things which somehow did not occur to me where Islamophobists were actually
in operation.
हाँ, so now when I think of it, I realize that अच्छा, मतलब it was not an innocent comment. Yeah, I should have said something then, but ऐसे. So
Thanks a lot. It was a great talking to you.
thank you.